Android. Android is the most popular mobile operating system in the world. It's made by Google and used by brands like Samsung, Xiaomi, OnePlus and Google's own Pixel phones. Android is super customizable, you can change the look of your phone, install apps from outside the Play Store and even install completely different versions of Android, like LineageOS. Android phones come in all price ranges, from cheap models to high-end flagship phones. But Android also has some downsides. Not all Android phones get regular software updates, which can lead to security risks and slower performance over time. Also, many phone brands add a lot of unnecessary apps which can make the phone slower. While Android is very powerful, it's generally less optimized than iOS, meaning some apps can feel smoother on an iPhone than on an Android device with similar hardware. iOS. iOS is Apple's operating system for iPhones and iPads. It's known for being smooth, secure and easy to use. Apple controls both the software and hardware, which means everything is well optimized and runs very smoothly. iPhones also get software updates for many years, making them last longer. A big advantage of iOS is Apple ecosystem. If you have a MacBook, iPad or Apple Watch, everything connects seamlessly. You can start a task on one device and continue on another without any extra effort. However, iOS is very restrictive. You can't install apps from outside the App Store, customizing the system is very limited, and simple tasks like transferring files can be frustrating without Apple's own services. Also, iPhones are expensive and Apple tends to reuse the same design and features for multiple years. HarmonyOS. HarmonyOS is Huawei's own operating system. It was created after the company lost access to Google services. It looks a lot like Android, but has its own App Store and is designed to work across different Huawei devices like tablets, phones and even smart home gadgets. In China it's growing fast, but outside of China many popular apps are still missing, which makes it harder to use. KaiOS. KaiOS is lightweight operating system designed for simple and affordable phones, often with physical buttons instead of touchscreens. It runs basic apps like WhatsApp, Facebook and YouTube, but it's not meant for high-end smartphones. It's mostly used in developing countries because it brings internet access to very cheap devices. While it's great for basic use, it's too limited for modern smartphone users who need more apps and features. GrapheneOS. GrapheneOS is a special version of Android that focuses on privacy and security. It removes Google services and tracks as little data as possible, making it ideal for people who don't trust big tech companies. It also has advanced security features that protect against hacking and malware. However, because it doesn't have Google services, many popular apps won't work properly. That makes it very difficult for everyday users unless they are really focused on privacy and are willing to find workarounds. Ubuntu Touch. Ubuntu Touch is a mobile version of the Linux-based Ubuntu operating system. It's made for people who want a free and open-source alternative to iOS and Android. One of its coolest features is that some phones can turn into a full desktop computer when connected to a monitor. However, it has a tiny user base and very few apps, so it's not practical for most people. It's mostly used by Linux fans who want complete control over their devices. Sailfish OS. Sailfish OS is developed in Europe with a focus on privacy and security. It has a unique interface based on swipe gestures and can even run some Android apps. Governments and businesses use it in some countries because it's independent of Google and Apple. However, it's not widely available and the number of supported phones is very small. App support is also limited, which makes it hard to use as a daily device. Windows Phone. Windows Phone was Microsoft's attempt to compete with iOS and Android. It had a unique look, great performance, and some interesting features. Many people loved its smooth user experience. But there was one huge problem: there weren't enough apps. Developers focused on iOS and Android, so Windows Phone never got popular apps like Snapchat or Instagram at the same time as other platforms. Over time, people stopped buying Windows phones and Microsoft eventually shut it down. But some fans still miss it.